Do not keep your options open. The best way to do things is to choose a thing and to go all in on that one thing. Now, I know this is going to go against conventional wisdom, but if you want results, if you want a way of thinking that is contrary to the masses that will get you better results, it's best to think and behave contrary to these people. Why am I saying don't keep your options open? Because this is what you're told. When I see a person that is keeping their options open, I immediately think two things. There's two things that's going to be evident about you to a person that's a critical thinker. Number one, you're a person that does not know what they want. Because a person that knows what they want is not going to have 5 different things that they want. They're going to concentrate on one thing. They're going to have that one thing. Because in reality, in psychology, in performance, concessions are for the weak. And a concession is something that's granted. Say, for example, you wanted to lose 30 pounds. You're following a diet. Now, the diet says that you have to eat this. This is how you have to be, the nutritional lifestyle. But a concession will say, well, you know what? You could eat this if you just don't feel good or if you want something sweet. No, concessions are for the weak. If this is what I need to do, then one track mind is what I'm going to do or have to get the result. And so the second part of that is, if you're not indecisive about it, right? If it's that you do know what you want, but you may think that you can't get it. And so if you think that you can't achieve it, you're going to put padding in there to make yourself feel good. And so, okay, these are the other few options that I have. Now, I find this a little bit dangerous because you see this most in relationships. Everybody has a list of the people, right? Or whatever. They may be thinking about somebody, but they may believe that they can't get that person. And so there'll be other people in the lineup. Now, the problem with that is, you know why that's not necessarily fair to other people? Is because they're not going to quite get the best of you if you have to fall to the third or the fourth person that you're settling at that point. And so when you're indecisive, what happens is you end up having to settle. When you got your options open, you have to settle because you put those options, you communicated to God, to the universe, you've communicated that I've got all of these other things in the fire. All these other people lined up and ready in case this doesn't work. And so you're already betting against yourself. Let me put my timer on to make sure that I don't go beyond. I don't want to speak too long. But you're basically saying, look, I have these 5 right here because I don't think that I may not be able to make it. Because keeping your options open is essentially meaning that you're everywhere, yet you're nowhere. And how many people have you seen that really wanted something? They didn't even allow anything else to creep in their mind. They didn't even think about anything else or anybody else. Because what will happen is you keeping your options open essentially is communicating, and 95% of communication is nonverbal. You're essentially communicating that somebody else that does not keep their options open is actually going to come in and take one of the options that you have because they're going to go full force. One of the options that you have open, the person that is fully committed themselves who may want those options are going to come in and take those options. So what typically happens with people is that they don't understand that there's not enough energy of themselves to go around. It's just one me. And so there's not enough of me to go around. And so since there's just one me, I have to give 100% to one thing. I can't be in a fear of loss, which is what rules human beings. That is what rules human behavior. They're afraid of loss. which is often why they don't go for the things that they actually truly want, is because they're afraid to lose. And they would have the options because if I lose this, then at least I have this. But this over here, what you are saying, at least I have, you won't do it a disservice because you truly didn't want this from the start. That's not what you really wanted. You really wanted that. So number one, you're not giving everything you have to the thing that you desire. And number two, you're not giving it to your options because it's not enough of you to go around. Because you can't break yourself up in 10 to 15 percentages. If you did, you're still going to lose against someone that has invested everything. And this is the mathematical equations of the universe. This is how it works. So keeping your options open. I understand in the sense that some people may say it, but it's really a dangerous thing because you are worried about losing. And you have to be willing to take the loss in order to get the win. So in losing, maybe you're going for something. And maybe you don't get that thing. You have to be able to accept that I didn't do it. I can take the loss. But guess what? I gave everything that I had. And so that would mean that that thing was not for me. And so I can rest well understanding that that thing was not for me. I'll find something else or someone else to go all in on. Because it's the lessons that you are given during the process of you going all in on that one thing that's going to develop you. If you don't get that thing, that's going to develop you to be even better and be a perfect fit or match vibrationally for the thing that it is that you truly desire. So maybe I didn't get that one, but guess what? I didn't have any options. So when I lost, I just lost. But I learned. Because I didn't lose, I learned. And so what that does is that gives me more muscle in preparation for something even better in the future. And so now I'm developed. I didn't have 50,000 options. That was my option. I prepared. Okay, this is what I need to do. I lost, but this is what I need to do. Or I learned, this is what I need to do. But I didn't keep my options open. That was my option. And that allowed me to give the best of myself because it's all about character and human development. So no matter what, I didn't lose because I developed myself. But guess what? If you have asked it, if you had 5 options, it's like, okay, you go on a certain speed here and then you trying to break up. Okay, well, just in case, you always have in the back of your mind. So you're defeating, you're betting against yourself. I'm not going into something thinking, well, what if I lose to this, or what if I lose to that, or what if I don't get this? No, the job is that I'm preparing, or I'm prepared for this thing right here. And this is all that matters right now. Put the blinders on like a horse. But now, if I don't have the blinders on, if I'm not laser focused, now I'm doing this, but I'm also doing this over here, right? It's like I'm DJing, right? I'm trying to DJ at a couple of different parties. It's not going to work. And so you will notice that we have a society full of average individuals, meaning that it's easy to predict because, okay, you make this much, you make this much. There's very few people that rise here. And the people that rise up, the people that always seem to have the best outcomes are the people that understand the importance of concentrating their energy. When you concentrate your energy, you have a better outcome. But if the energy is divided, that is the problem. This is why 4 to 5 people that have concentrated energy are far better than 50 people that are scattered. Because the more people involved, the more likely you're going to have a difference of opinion, the more likely you're going to have a difference of energy, a difference of objectives. It's hard to have 100 people thinking one thing. But if I got 4 to 5 people versus 20 people, 4 to 5 people that's giving their soul, that's concentrated, that don't have their options open, that look, we got to make this happen. Let's say in business or on a team, versus 20 people that are divided, right? We're talking about business, basic things, not like 5 people trying to fight 20 or 30 or 40, 50 people, not that. But just basic energy in life, understanding that these 4 to 5 people right here, we have a small company. We're doing everything. I've seen that. I've seen people generate millions. I've seen 20 people. They're just wasting time. They're mistaking activity for achievement. They don't have the focus that they need. They're all broken up. They're all arguing. They all have difference of opinions. And that's what your life looks like when you have all these different options. This is my option right here. I didn't get it. I developed for the next one. Now, this is my option right here. This is my woman right here. This is who I want for my woman right here. So it ain't no 50,000 dates with other people sneaking on the side like that. Because this is the one, this is why it's important to really like whatever it is that you want. Because you're not going to give your best effort to the side things. You're not going to give your best effort to the 4th job that you like, or you're applying over here and all that. You're not going to give your best effort because the energy is diluted. Because you don't even really want to be there. You just like, in case I don't get this, and this is how people live their lives. And so effectively or energetically, they have settled. It's like, okay, I fell all the way here to this is my 5th option. Why do you have 5 options? Why do you have 5 options? If you don't get this, and then something happens to where you meet a person that you guys used to be cool and you really did like them, but things didn't work out, and you land here, that's a different story. Or this job right here, the universe has shown you something, that this job right here is this is where you were supposed to be. So you didn't get that one, but this is where you're supposed to be. But you at least gave your best effort. If you can finish with the tank empty, that's what we want. That's the most important thing right there. I think that staying safe is what puts people behind. Yeah, I'll say that. Because a lot of people, most people don't want to look bad. There are people that they don't want to look bad. They don't want to look shame. What does it matter if I lost? What does it matter? Or who does it matter to, shall I say? You have to have no shame when it comes to the things that you believe in, when it comes to the things that you truly want. So people will also have options to save face. Oh man, I didn't get into the University of Michigan, but I got all of these. Well, that's a little bit different. The schooling thing is different because for whatever reason, that's not always up to the individual. You can have good test scores, but regardless, energetically, you still want to put your best. Like, this is the school I want to go to. Okay, and schooling is different. Okay, here's the second choice, right? Because they do ask you that. Okay, I get that. That's a little bit different. But in life, people have too many choices. That's the point that I'm trying to make. And when you have too many choices, you end up not making a real choice. But when your choices are cut, it's a lot different. So now a man has too many choices on social media, all these women that they're looking at. Or a woman got too many choices, there's too many guys DMing. Before, it was just you and your hood, where you live, in your neighborhood. Okay, you got this guy, Robbie, Rick, Chris. Okay, these are your selections, or whoever you went to school with, or college. Now you got some guy in Africa, right, that's sending you DMs, baby, I'll fly you out. Or for a guy, now you got Brazilians in South America on the volleyball team, and this girl right here in Panama, and in the Dominican Republic, where now you're seeing all these different girls, and now it's like your mind changes, right? And now you don't really go what you're supposed to go for. Now you got all these different options, and you DM in 10, 20, 30, 40. But guess what? The energy is diluted. Man and woman, the energy is diluted. And so now you won't necessarily, most people, right? You won't truly get what you're supposed to get. Because now you're also, and then with the options, you're living in dreamland. You have to have, as they say, what's it, Napoleon Hill? You have to have a definiteness of purpose. And when you have a definiteness of purpose, you will most likely achieve the result. And if you don't, you take what you were supposed to take from the situation and you apply that to the next situation, but in no way, shape, or form are you to continue to divide yourself with all of these different options, because they aren't really true options, because your energy is not going to these different things. And so I think that this is the thing that kind of throws most people off, because they think they're playing it safe. But remember, there is no security in security. The rug can always be pulled out from up under you. When you give all that you have, that's when you're playing it safe. But when you give minimum effort or half effort, now you're taking a risk. You're taking a risk that what it is that you really want, it will almost never come true. You can get some luck, it almost never come true. Because there's somebody somewhere that's giving full effort for that thing. And that essentially means that they have more frequency, more vibration going to that thing. Sometimes you're just not good enough. Maybe you're not a fit for that man or that woman. Maybe you're not a fit for that job, but that's okay. You gave your best effort. You understand that I'm going to move on to the next thing, which will be a better fit for me. But I don't have 10 to 20 different places or things or people that I want, because those are low on the totem pole and I truly don't want them, but I'm just settling. That's the communication. That's what you're putting out. That's what you're putting out. And so, because you're basically afraid to learn. You are afraid to learn. Because you learn from errors, you learn from mistakes. And so you will always skip the lessons that you truly need for the personal development. By going all in, you're gonna get every lesson that you need. By not going all in, by 2, 3, 4, 5 options, you're a little bit here and then you're partially there. So you're not gonna, it's like in a relationship, you never be afraid to give all that you, if somebody plays you, if something happens, you learned your lesson though, because that's a valuable lesson. And so now you will know for the next person how to be. But it's like you're not giving your all, and this is what people do. You know, a man say, well, I'm not going to do this with her until I see her do that. Or a woman says, I'm not going to do this for him until I see him do that. Or you think you're going to wait to be married? How will you get married if you never give your best effort? If you give your best effort and you see that somebody is not appreciative of it, you move on. Simple. But you don't not give your best effort, because now you're tarnishing, you're harming what could be. If you give your best effort and they're giving their best effort, then that can flourish into something. Same thing on your job. People go to their job and they want to work in other places, right? And they just barely making ends meet. So now you're harming the company and you're harming yourself. Now we could say, oh, if that company, but that company is what's paying you, put money in your pocket, taking care of your family, and for sure you. It's bad karma all the way around. It's time to go all in on one thing. That's basically the message today. Go all in on one thing. The focus will be much better. The results will, and guess what? The more energy, the bigger the output, the quicker that things can happen. The stronger the energy, the stronger the output or the outcome. The stronger the energy, the more that will come from it. The more you give, the more you invest. Properties that cost a lot require more investment. But guess what? They also give back more in return. Go all in on one thing. Don't be afraid. At worst, you'll learn and you'll be prepared for the next thing. Stop the mixed communications that you're sending out to the universe by having 3 and 4 and 5 options. You know that you really don't want those. But you have them there as a defense mechanism, as a cushion for when you fall, as a pillow. No cushions, all out. One thing. Doesn't work, it doesn't work. You move to the next thing, which was for sure what you were supposed to have. Because not everything that you go after, you're going to get. You're not going to get everything that you go after. It's just that simple. But you will get what you're supposed to get by going after the things that you desire. Meaning the things that you're supposed to learn, you're going to learn. Who you need to become, which is the most important thing in life. When you become a certain person, then you'll have everything that you need to have. So a lot of it may be teaching. So that wasn't for you. You wanted it, but that wasn't for you. You weren't ready. So now when you get it, you can receive it and you can keep it. But you wouldn't have been able to do that if you didn't go through what you were supposed to go through to learn the lessons to become who you needed to become and have what it is that you wanted and be able to keep and maintain.